All right, welcome. We're going to evaluate and impact the European exploration and settlement on the American Indians in Georgia. That's the gigantic standard. And so first we have to start with the Native Americans. We want to know what were the four main groups of Native Americans and kind of their progression throughout history. What are they known for? And so at the end of this, the lesson, you should be able to describe the characteristics of the Indians living in Georgia at the time of the European exploration. Now, characteristics means in the context of their culture, their food, their weapons and tools and shelter. They all had different pieces that they had. So, if you go right into the Google Slides, already in our in our first slide, we have what are the characteristics of the periods of people that lived in the Paleo era, the Archaic era, the Woodland, and the Mississippian periods. These are periods of time, by the way. There are also types of Native Americans. I'm not going to read this one. Paleo is first, and you can remember it this way, P-A-L-M. Each one of those letters is the first letter of the time period of the Indian that we're studying. So if you want to know which Native Americans lived first, like a long time ago, it starts with Paleo. Okay, Paleo. Next is Archaic. I'm not going to go through this. Again, you can read all of this information for yourself. Then comes the Archaic, the Woodlands, the Mississippians, and here's where I'm trying to get. This is a graphic organizer. It's a chart. And it gives a lot of information. It's going to give you the time period that each of these Native American groups of people lived in, the weapons and the tools that they were known for, and you will notice as you go through here, there is a progression, there's an invention, there is a progression of tools that they invented, so they don't all use the same tools, and you need to know which tool goes with which time period in Indian. The other thing is food and dwelling. Now, their religion, I don't know that you need to include that in your study, but definitely their food and their dwellings were very distinctive and different. So, for instance, food for the Paleo people were large things such as bisons and mammoths and ground sloths and mastodons. Once you get all the way down to the Mississippian periods, they are growing their own crops, such as maize, which is just corn, beans, pumpkins, squash, which means what? If your main source of food is bison, herd animal, mammoth, herd animal, ground sloth, who knows? Mastodon is a herd animal. Herds move, they migrate with the season. So these people, Paleo people, would have been nomadic people. Those people that moved with the herds and moved with the seasons. Once you get all the way down to Mississippians, the Mississippians were not herd people. They didn't have to be because they figured out how to use plows, how to plant seeds, and they could stay put and harvest what they grew and kind of form their own permanent settlements. So I just used these two, the Paleo and the Mississippians, as examples to show you how distinctive they were in their food groups. They were also distinctive in their weapons, and you also need to know what distinguishes the Archaic from the Woodland from the Mississippian from the Paleo, and vice versa. Make sure you practice on Quizlet before you take your assessment, and there's plenty of reading in your Google Classroom. If I went too fast, run it back, pause it, take notes, talk to each other, whatever you need to do to get yourself prepared for the assessment that's coming up on Thursday. Thanks for watching.